Hey, what's going on, everybody? Nico here. Today we're going to be talking about movement, the optimal way to health, the path to optimal health. The first thing we need to worry about is our flexibility, mobility, and stability. Now, this is going to stretch short muscles, stretch short, tight muscles. It's going to stabilize the joints and fortify them, as well as the muscles. It's going to strengthen those muscles in the stabilization range of motion. So this is also bringing the body back to balance. It's like, think of it as a bicycle wheel. If some spokes are too tight or bent, it's going to warp the entire wheel. Same thing with our body. If our body's tight or bent out of shape, we need to stretch mobility, do mobility and stability work to bring that body back into alignment. This improves posture, so being able to keep the shoulders back, chest up, as well as functional ability, being able to twist and move in our daily lives. From there, we need to work on energizing exercises. This is the working in versus working out, the rejuvenation type of work. This delivers beneficial energy to the body. Think of it as a credit card. You're paying off that credit card. And it also builds vitality. It makes you a more vital human being. Now, this can be done through working in, like I said. And through my questionnaire assessment, I could tell you specifically what working in exercises you need for your body personally. And like I said, it's building energy in the body so you can make it throughout the day with a nice energy level. From there, we need some core training. Now, the core protects the organs and the spinal cord. Those two things are important to life, important to movement, because if we hurt our spinal cord, that means we can't move. And if we can't move when we were hunter-gatherers, we would die. In organs, if you hurt any of your organs, then you will die as well, especially back when we were hunter-gatherers, like I said. This supports circulation throughout the body as well as organs. Think about it. Our core, if we're moving and breathing, that's pushing and pumping our organs for our digestive system, so that can help with our digestive health, as well as making sure the circulation throughout our body. Again, our core is our entire, down to our butt, all the way up to our chest. So making sure that that's in check will allow our blood circulation to be optimal as well. Once we have those three basics down, that's the foundation for our movement. We also need to work on the inner core and the outer core. We have something called the transverse abdominis, which is underneath our abs. And that acts as like the natural weight belt. Think of it when you're sucking in for a picture, that is our transverse abdominis being used. So we need to work on fortifying and activating those transverse abdominis muscles, as well as how to integrate our core muscles throughout our daily life, as well as exercise. And then we gotta make sure we have good core conditioning. We're using them in a functional manner, flexion and extension and stability, so we can have that strong foundation for our functional exercise. Now, our functional exercise is our primal pattern exercises, our primal pattern movements. Now, what are the primal pattern movements of the body? Now, think about it again, hunter-gatherers, they're pulling things, squatting, bending, lunging, pushing, walking and running and sprinting, and then twisting. So all of these movements were vital when we were hunter-gatherers. And to this day, if we want true functional exercise, we need to work with all of those subcategories of the primal pattern movements. We also need to make sure our exercises are dynamic, so we're not using any machines. Machines are good for if you have specific goals, but when it comes to being functional, you need stuff like Swiss balls, which is like the stability balls, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, bands, cables. All of these things allow you to move in all ranges of motion. So the fact that it has that dynamic ability will increase our stability, mobility, as well as functional strength. Some things to think about while you're going through your path to health, optimal health. It's all about the shape of your body, not the body weight. So shape, not weight. Train, don't drain. Again, we don't want to overexert ourselves to where even our energizing exercises won't help us, and we're consistently in this rebuild phase of the body and not overcompensating and getting more muscle. Medical drugs, you need to worry about if you're taking any medical drugs that could potentially harm you if doing exercise. Don't overuse aerobics. This is the biggest one. If you do steady state cardio for too long, that's going to drop our metabolism because our body's trying to get more efficient at running. So it is more beneficial to have muscle than cardiovascular health. Granted, they are both important for optimal health. We need to make sure we are getting a good mixture and not overdoing one or the other. Less is more. Remember, if we work out too hard, we can overtrain and actually damage the muscle to the point of where we're actually losing muscle and not gaining it. So making sure less is more, we can always add, we can't really subtract. Overcoming back pain. Making sure we're taking the proper precautions to do our foundation before we go into the functional exercise so we can work on overcoming that back pain, especially chronic back pain. It's so important to work on the basics. Now, putting it all together, what do we need to do to make sure this is all a cohesive program? First off, we need a movement assessment. If you don't know how you're moving now, we won't know how to incorporate the flexibility, mobility, and stability to correct those issues, as well as we won't know if you have any imbalances. From there, once we got our movement assessment, we need to have a proper program. We need proper program design, which consists of periodization. Proper periodization is key. If we're doing functional exercise before we do flexibility, mobility, and stability, then we are enforcing those bad movement patterns that we learned from our movement assessment, which can cause a host of issues. Making sure it's specific for you, it's individualized for you. That is the best program you can have, is something that is individualized to you as a person. And make sure it's fun. Make sure it's something you enjoy doing. Maybe not necessarily during, but something you can consistently do and make sure it becomes a habit. Because if you don't do it consistently, that's not going to be the best program for you. So make sure you're having fun with it. And make sure you have someone who's a professional in program design, personal trainer like me, to actually make sure everything is in line for you. That is all I got for you guys today. If you have any questions about movement, how this all works, put it in the comments below. It's right there. You might as well do it. And if you learned something new, if you enjoyed the video, like it, love it if you're on Facebook, and make sure you share it to your friends and family. I'm having an Instagram Live coming up at 12:30, so in about an hour, 12:20. So make sure you're on that. It's a Q&A, so bring your health, wellness, or fitness questions for me to answer. And I've got some big news coming up with my personal Facebook group and page for Roots Fitness, as well as a lot of stuff going on with New Heights Wellness Center as well. So make sure, if you, like I said, like, comment, and share the video. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.